Survival. Chapter 1: The Vanishing Waters. The world was changing, and it was happening faster than anyone could have imagined. First, the rivers began to shrink, their once mighty flows reduced to trickling streams. Then, the lakes and oceans started to recede, leaving behind vast, cracked expanses of mud. The sky, once filled with fluffy clouds, was now a barren expanse of blue, devoid of moisture. Dr. James White, a renowned hydrologist, was among the first to notice the alarming trend. His research had been focused on climate change, but nothing could have prepared him for the scale of this disaster. As the water levels continued to drop, panic began to spread across the globe. Chapter 2: The Thirsty Earth. The disappearance of water had a devastating impact on life on Earth. Crops withered and died, and animals struggled to survive. Cities faced water shortages, and riots broke out as people fought for access to the dwindling supply. Susan, a young mother living in a rural town, was one of the hardest hit. Her family's farm was drying up, and she was struggling to provide for her children. Desperation was setting in as the realization of the gravity of the situation dawned on her. Chapter 3: The Search for Answers. Dr. White was determined to find an explanation for the vanishing water. He traveled the world, consulting with other experts and studying the latest data. His research led him to a startling conclusion: the water was not simply disappearing, it was being absorbed by the Earth itself. The planet's crust, it seemed, was undergoing a massive change. The once solid rock was becoming porous, allowing water to seep deep into the Earth's interior. This was a phenomenon that had never been observed before, and it was happening at an alarming rate. Chapter 4: The Last Oasis. As the water crisis deepened, a small group of survivors discovered a hidden oasis in the heart of the Sahara Desert. The oasis was a lush, green valley, fed by a subterranean spring. It was a miracle in a world ravaged by drought. Pamela, a young woman who had lost her family in the chaos, found refuge in the oasis. She joined a small community of survivors who were struggling to maintain their existence in this isolated paradise. Chapter 5: The Desperate Gamble. Dr. White, convinced that he had found the cause of the water crisis, developed a plan to reverse the process. He believed that by injecting a specific chemical into the Earth's crust, he could seal the porous areas and prevent the water from being absorbed. It was a risky gamble, but Dr. White was determined to save the planet. He gathered a team of scientists and engineers and began preparations for the experiment. Chapter 6: The Final Hope. The experiment was a success. The chemical injection sealed the porous areas of the Earth's crust, and the water began to return to the surface. Rivers and lakes started to fill, and the sky once again became filled with clouds. The world rejoiced as the water crisis was finally brought under control. Dr. White and his team were hailed as heroes, and the oasis became a symbol of hope for a planet that had narrowly escaped extinction. The disappearance of water had been a terrifying ordeal, but it had also brought people together. In the face of adversity, humanity had shown its resilience and its ability to overcome even the greatest challenges.